Jai Sapadika Shri Guru Gaura Chandraju ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhanju ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Charja. Astatara Sita Sri Sriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Charja. Astatara Sita Sri Sriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai, welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Morning Class. Dandavat. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Chita Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Haribo. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. We are continuing to read the glories of Nityananda Balaram, and that's chapter 5 of the Adi Lila. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki Jai. Srila Om Vishnupada A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai. Now, continuing here, this is verse number 63. And we read this yesterday. Excuse me. So this is an analogy trying to help us to distinguish between the cause. There's two causes of a thing. There's the efficient cause, and there's the material cause, or the things involved, and then what is being done to the things. So the English is, just as the original cause of an earthen pot is the potter, so the creator of the material world is the first Purusha incarnation, Karana Vashai Vishnu. So he's the cause. It is his will. By his will, everything is happening. Krishna Karta Maya Tara Karena Sahai Gatara Karana Chakra Dandadi Upai. Lord Krishna is the creator, and Maya only helps him as an instrument, just like the potter's wheel or other instruments, which are the instrumental causes of the pot. Is that kind of clear? So it is the Lord's will that is making it all happen, and Maya is the instrument he is using. So she's not the real cause, but she's being utilized. Durahaite purushakare mayate avadana jiva rupa viryatate karena adana. The first Purusha casts his glance at Maya from a distance, and thus he impregnates her with the seed of life in the form of the living entities. So those are three different. The Lord, the Purusha, he is the Lord of all the Shaktis, Jiva Shakti and Maya Shakti. And Maya Shakti, she is there. And the Lord is, by his glance, he is sending all the living entities who, wish to live independently of him into that Mayic system. Eka angaba sekare maya te milana, maya haite janme tabe brahmande ragana, The reflected rays of his body mix with Maya, and thus Maya gives birth to myriad universes. The Vedic conclusion is that the cosmic manifestation visible to the eyes of the conditioned soul is caused by the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, through the exertion of his specific energies. Although in the conclusion of atheistic deliberations, this manifested cosmic exhibition is attributed to material nature. So the energy of the absolute truth is exhibited in three ways: spiritual, material, and marginal. The absolute truth is identical with his spiritual energy. Only when contacted by the spiritual energy can the marginal energy work, and the temporary material manifestations thus appear to be active. They don't. Life is a spiritual thing. Material elements have no life of their own. But just like when you put a glove on, when you put on a glove or a pair of pants or a shirt, it looks like it's alive, right? But that's because you're inside of it. So the material elements are impregnated by the Jiva Shakti, and thus they look like they're alive. They are manifesting symptoms of a living thing. But that is not, it is the living thing which is causing the life, not that the mundane is creating life. That life is manifesting the actions of matter. Right? So the conditioned state is caused by misuse of the individual independence of the spiritual platform. For this separates the living entity from the association of the spiritual energy. The living entity is spiritual, but he can go either way. But he's talking about the spiritual energy, meaning the will of the Lord. All right. Okay, text 67. Aganya ananta jata anda sanivasa tatarupe purushakare shabate prakasha. The Purusha enters each and every one of the countless universes. He manifests himself in as many separate forms as there are universes. Purusha nasate jabe bahiraya svasa Nishvasya sahite hoy brahmanda prakasha. When the Purusha exhales, the universes are manifested with each outward breath. Punarapi svasa jabe praveshe antare svasa saha brahmanda paise purusha sharire. Thereafter, when he inhales, all the universes again enter his body.
Do they start all over, or is it completely new universes when he exhales again?
I'm sorry, would you say that again? I can't hear you really.
No, it's okay. I said, because you said whenever he exhales, it's universes, and whenever he inhales, he's bringing them back in. So when he exhales again, I don't know if this is a silly question, is it the same universe or is it completely different?
I never even thought about that. The living entities, we do know that they begin where they left off.
Wow.
So the environment is very similar.
So, okay.
So wherever you or I or any living being in this world, wherever you are existing at the time of the universal annihilation, that's where you will begin again.
So where is our soul in the meantime? Is that when he exhales again, is that when we get the other, like let's say we don't get another human form for a second, when he exhales, is this where we pick up off? Like,
Yeah.
really?
But the living beings are not, the living beings in this world at the time of annihilation, they're not,
Or probably
it's not like we have a soul.
Yeah.
You know, we are a soul.
We are a soul.
So how that is in the divine form of the Purush, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but we are there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an inconceivable amount of time. But it is also on the plane beyond time. But then when he exhales, we come in again to the gross and subtle bodies. So we're completely unaware.
Is that the start of a new age?
No, not
Or like the
age.
return of
New
God?
creation.
New creation.
The ages, there are many ages in a day of Brahma.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Many cycles of ages in a day of Brahma.
So we go through the 4.
Many, many times in one day of Brahma.
Wow.
One day, and then there's a night.
Oh my God.
We're inconceivably tiny. And even Brahma considers himself inconceivably tiny. A universe in front of the Lord is like a speck of dust.
Mm-hmm. It is. Have you ever seen, I'm so sorry, this is a good analogy I use for people. The Dr. Seuss movie, Horton Hears a Who.
What was that?
The Dr. Seuss movie, Horton Hears a Who.
Oh,
We're kind of like those little people, not even the speck of dust, we're like the little.
not even. Even in this city,
Yeah.
we are so tiny.
We are.
Even on the street, we're very tiny. What to speak of the planet or this planetary system or a universe? It's, you know, I just remember flying out of Chicago. And Chicago is a pretty big, impressive city. But when you fly over it, it looks like a postage stamp.
Wow.
You know, these are all conceptual things. It's all within the mental sphere. Everything is existing within the mental sphere.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, that's a whole other subject, but it's a fascinating subject and something we should understand about our position in this world. We are 100% within the mental world. Mm-hmm. And everything which we are seeing is a projection of the mind, Guru Maharaj says. There is nothing outside of consciousness. Nothing exists outside of consciousness. We're thinking that something is existing outside of consciousness, but we're thinking that. That's within consciousness. Everything is within that. So, what it is to come out when the universes are all just completely dissolved, and there's only the potential, the pradana, that potential is existing, and the living beings, they're unembodied, but they have no positive life, so there's just in kind of a sleep state. And then coming back out again and starting all over again.
Wow.
At the time of creation. And then there's another Brahma. There'll be another Brahma. He's the first living being. He's manifested from the body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and he creates all the living entities. All of them.
A whole new,
Everything begins again. He manifests the demigods, he manifests the humans, the trees, the plants, the bugs. All species of life are manifested by the potency of Brahma. But Brahma has all of his potency, has been bestowed upon him by Krishna, by Vishnu. So Bhashvanya Tashma Shakaleshu Nijeshu Teja is about the potency of Brahma to create. It's just a little drop of the potency of the Lord, like you see it, like the potency of the sun in some gems.
Yeah.
So he's just creating like that. But when you think about that really, it's a monumental thing. It's inconceivable, actually. It's nothing for the Lord. He is empowering Brahma. You do that.
Inconceivable.
It is all wonder.
It's like if that's nothing for him to create all of this.
It's not
What
even
is he
this.
doing?
It's every single planet and all the living entities on the planets
And
are
their
all
mental
created by
systems,
Brahma.
All their bodies,
Everything.
all the things they
Germs, like ghosts, everything. But he's creating the form. He's not creating this person. That is coming from Vishnu. We, the living entities, have probably been through this quite a few times already, maybe billions. But that living entities then animate all these forms. That's not Brahma. Brahma cannot do that. But he can make the forms exactly as they were at the time of annihilation of the last creation. And then we just start all over. Well, not all over. We just continue with where we left off. And all for what?
for him.
No, I mean, it's all for, I mean, of course, Krishna is, always enjoying and dancing, but, I mean, in terms of our own existence, it's the same.
Oh.
There's this story in the Greek myths about someone who, he was given he did something wrong, and he was given like the eternal task of rolling a rock, a big boulder, up a mountain, and at the end of the day it fell down to the bottom, and he had to roll it up the next day. And that was what he had to do forever. I mean, forever in terms of the Greek myths, but it's like that. We work so hard, and then we're born again, and we have to just start working again. But what's it for? Mm-hmm.
Is it completely necessary for the Lord to perform his pastimes? That there is always jivas in his opposite form, meaning his reflection, his shadow. Just like the shadow, right? The external, we're part of the external energy.
No.
We're like the opposite.
We're not part of the external energy.
We're the part of the
We're Jiva Shakti.
jiva shadow.
Jiva means a person. And we're very similar to the Lord in many ways. We are from him. We're like tiny, tiny little rays, like rays of the sun. But we have free will. Otherwise, how can you be a person? You'll just be a machine. And by that free will, we have a choice to be in a loving relationship with the Lord, or to try to be the Lord. Be the primary enjoyer. We can, and then, so that choice is there. And we made an unfortunate choice. But that's all right too, because the Lord is there, and he's rescuing us.
So it will be strange for a living entity to not have a shadow, right? So
No, that's true. What you're saying is true.
So does the Lord wants some of their jivas to want to be him?
No. He's giving a
Because
choice.
If everybody chooses to go with him, then he's not going to have a shadow. And maybe that shadow is natural and it confirms his greatness.
Well, the shadow does. Darkness does. show light. But that is just the natural position of free will. That there is an alternative. And that alternative also does show the glory of the Lord. But in the divine plane, there's no shadow necessary to show the glories of the Lord. The pure living soul, he does not, he can see that clearly and feel it clearly. But for us, when we have had experience of what is not the Lord, or what is aversion to the Lord, then that does help us to see the glories of the Lord. But that is from our point of view. But that Maya Shakti is always there. She's also eternal. So I think your question is like that, right? Maya Shakti always exists. She is one of the potencies of the Lord. And the living entity, being tiny, really tiny, he can make the mistake of going in the wrong direction. But that is due to his own will. That is not influenced by the Lord in any way. He doesn't want any living entity to come into the shadow world. But we have to love him because we want to.
That makes sense.
But what you're saying does have validity, especially from our point of view. When we can see, so in the Ishopanishad, it is saying one should engage in the study of nescience and knowledge side by side. Ignorance and knowledge side by side. Because that ignorance is the darkness which it shows the wonder of that light. So both of those things can be understood together. But there's no necessity for darkness in the divine pastimes of the spiritual plane. There is darkness in the sense of separation, but that's not actually ignorance. That is another manifestation of divine love. So reflected here, it's another story. I don't know if I'm really getting to your point.
Yeah, my question was that the shadow
has a part to play.
And it will always have a part to play. And even though the Lord doesn't want us to choose to be averse to him, he wants us to have free will.
We must have free will.
Which he knows that always there's going to be jivas that choose to not love him. And maybe that's also part of his play.
Well, in some ways, yeah, because he's always entering into this plane to try to bring us out. That is also sweet for him. It's sweet for him to come and try to rescue us, because that's his loving nature. But he's not arranging that we will forget him. That is our choice. That is our own choice. Krishna is independent. He doesn't require anything. But he's loving. Very loving. Only loving. He doesn't have anything, any part of his nature that is not full of affection. Just like if one of your children will suddenly say, I hate you, all the things you're teaching me, I hate them all, I'm leaving. And then he gets himself into horrible trouble because he decides that every principle is stupid and I'm just going to do what I want. And then when he comes home and he's weeping and the father's embracing him, that is sweet. There's a sweetness to that. Everything has its taste. But it's not like the father wants the child to do that. But still, there's a sweetness in helping someone who you love that has gone in a wrong way. You know what I mean? Or does that sound odd to you? No. It's a natural thing. There's no non-sweetness for Krishna. But even Guru Maharaj says he is feeling the pain of separation from every single soul who has turned away from him. He's feeling separation because he naturally loves he has a natural love for every living being. What else relationship would he have? Not indifferent.
Is the Lord that has a natural relationship with us that Krishna, that son of Nanda, or is it the Lord?
Plain, the Lord is trying to, he's the witness, he's the maintainer. He's the indwelling witness of everything. But to come to a deeper relationship, one will go on beyond that, Paramatma. Paramatma is only acting within the mundane plane. But to come to the plane of Paramatma means Vasudeva. Vasudeva realization means there's nothing outside of Krishna. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. That person who can actually come to the plane of the Supersoul, he can see that there is nothing outside of him. But because of illusion, we thought there was. We thought there was something independent. But that is the very beginning of actual spiritual life. Beyond that, there's much, much more. Deeper and deeper relationships. For example, Supersoul is not, anyway, there's many, many, many things. The consort, for example, when one comes to the plane of, or the conception of Narayan, Lakshmi, their consort is there. And then beyond that, there are deeper and deeper relationships. So that is the sort of beginning relationship, when one could begin to see there's nothing outside of Krishna. There is nothing. We were in illusion. We misunderstood the truth. That's just illusion. It's not a substantial thing. It's not a thing at all. It's a misconception of what is real. So that at the beginning of that is Vasudeva realization. That is the super soul. He has come in that beginning connection. But our prayers are given by our Guru Varga. And like Tumi Sarveshwareshwara, Brajendra Kumar, that song is so beautiful because he's not praying to the super soul. He's praying, you are the Lord of all lords, but you are the son of Nanda. That's why he's saying to me. No one is going to pray to the super soul saying to me. To me means it's familiar. There are many U's in different languages. We only have one U, Y-O-U. I don't know in Spanish. But yeah, usted is like you will say that to a senior person, right? We don't have any of that in English. We're very gross. But in Sanskrit it's very fine. And in Bengali. So that's Bengali, and he's saying to me, to the Lord. To me is what you will call your friend or a child. So he's saying, you are the Lord of all. This is like harmonizing your question. He knows, he's saying, you are the Lord of all lords. But he's calling him to me. O son of Nanda.
Yeah, there's some relationship.
Deeper, but deep, very deep. So this is how we're encouraged to try to approach the Lord. And through the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is imbued by Mahaprabhu with divine consorthood. That potential. So this opportunity right now to worship the Lord in these ways, to come in this conception and in this practice, is so astonishing. If you read the Vedas and then you heard about this, you'd hardly believe it, that it could possibly happen. Any questions from the kitchen?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, could it actually get turned up a bit more as well?
Sorry, honey, what?
Can we turn it up here in the kitchen a little bit more?
Sure.
Turn it up?
I'm catching it, but the clicking is starting, so the...
Okay, So here's a really, it's already 8:30. Okay, so thereafter when he inhales, all the universes again enter into his body. Because the universes, we have to understand, these are it's called gross, but it's all within the plane of consciousness. So this wrapping up of these modes of nature and the misconceptions which seem to be manifesting within the minds of the living entities, or within the consciousness of the living entities. Srila Guru Maharaj explains this much more carefully. That is all becoming unmanifest to the living entities. Everything is unmanifest. All right, so we're beginning with this verse again tomorrow. Okay, anything else? Any other question? Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj ki Jai. By the way, I appreciate that question. Srila Om Vishnu Padesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. It's a very good, you could say, skill to be able to do a lot of things and still listen to something else. Because otherwise, unless our engagement is very, very intense and takes all of our attention, we end up listening to what? Just our mental chatter. So it's very important. It's an important skill to be able to do many things and at the same time to listen. So, like when you're cleaning your room or something, you put on a class or anything, whatever service or chant or something like that. It's a very, very good thing to develop. Right?
Yeah.
Jai. Okay, so now we are reading Brihad Bhagavatamrita, given to us by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Jai, Srila Sanatana Goswami ki Jai. Srila Rupa Goswami ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Text 45 of chapter 5, and this is page 446 in this book. Shri Parikshit. Do you have this on the computer? Oh, I think you can get it.
Should be from Bhagavatamrita.
Mm-hmm. You would have to. It's not in. I don't think it's in the database, and it's not on our website. You would have to get it. Just try to download it online. Brihad Bhagavatamrita and this translation here is Gopi Puranadan Das. He was a good God brother, very sober man. And so, okay, text number 45. Shri Parikshituvacha atakshanam lajayeva monam kritvata nishvasan dharmarajo bravin matri Bratri Patnibir Anvitaha. Sri Parikshit said, for a moment, Dharmaraj Yudhisthira remained quiet, and then he sighed as if embarrassed. At last he spoke, followed in turn by his brothers, wife, and mother. So now Narada has come. He is speaking to the Pandavas. And who sent him to the Pandavas? Who did he speak with before the Pandavas?
Prahlad Maharaj. Oh, Hanuman.
Hanuman. Because Hanuman is saying, he's in the mood of service, and now he's come to the Pandavas. And the Pandavas are in the mood of friendship with the Lord. And so, Narada is so humble. He's saying, just look at my arrogance, like I can describe your devotion. He's saying, only Krishna can adequately know and describe your good qualities. But at least I am convinced that the Supreme Lord has descended into this world only for the sake of you. Saying, I can say this, that for sure. And then Yudhisthira is sighing, and then he begins to speak. You know sigh, the word sigh?
Sigh? In English?
Yeah.
No.
It just means...
Oh.
And who's telling this? King Parikshit. And who is he speaking to? Who is he telling this story to? King Parikshit is speaking to his mother. This whole thing is being spoken by King Parikshit. Well, actually, it's being spoken by Jaimini Rishi. And he's telling that King Parikshit said this to his mother. Okay. Hearing his own praise embarrassed Yudhisthira, or so it seemed. Closer to the truth, however, is that he took this exaggerated praise to be false. He took it to be exaggeration, and it is, of course, it was not exaggeration. And he thought that Narada was teasing him. In either case, Yudhisthira felt sufficiently moved to sigh audibly, even in front of his mother and younger brothers. Vavadu kashirodarya naivasmasu kripahare vicharya bhikshan asmabhir jatukapya vadaryate. Yudhisthira said, O crest jewel of brilliant speakers, Lord Hari has no mercy for us. We cannot remember any mercy he has shown us, even after we consider this for a long time. Now that sounds maybe a little odd to us. But mercy meaning special affection. He's saying there's no special affection from the Lord to us. And he's not blaming the Lord for that. He's saying we have no particular qualification like that. By calling Narada an eloquent speaker, Yudhisthira subtly accused him of distorting the truth. In Yudhisthira's opinion, proof that Krishna blessed him and his brothers with special favor cannot be found. It's very sweet. Text 47. Prakritanam jananam hi madrigapad kanekshaya Krishna bhakta pravritischa vishvasascha brasediva. If ordinary materialistics see the many calamities, do you know what a calamity is?
Yeah, like a tragedy, something.
Yes.
Horrible.
Yeah. If ordinary materialists see the many calamities that have come upon us, their faith and their inclination to serve Krishna are likely to wither, dry up. Saying, we're not doing any service for the world.
Is there not serving the Lord?
For the world. If anyone sees the calamities we've been through in our lives, and they think we are favored by Krishna, they're not going to believe in Krishna anymore. You're saying ordinary materialists, those who have real understanding of Krishna's pastime, they won't think this. But ordinary person will just be like, I think I better take shelter of Indra. At least I'm going to go to heaven. Commentary. In text 47 through 56, King Yudhishthira refutes the idea that the Pandavas possess Krishna's mercy. Simple people believe Krishna's devotee never suffer misfortune. This is an idea we must give up. The misfortune of the mundane person is a very dark thing, but the misfortune of the devotees can bring them into a beautiful position of deeper and deeper love and surrender. Yudhishthira says that when such people see the Pandavas' extreme adversities, this faith will be spoiled. But since he knows that the opposite is true, that by hearing about Krishna's loving dealings with the Pandavas, people gain faith, Yudhishthira qualifies the statement with the word eva, as if. It looks as if Krishna is, his devotees just suffer all the time. When their pastimes are so glorious that when the Mahabharata is being told on TV in India, the whole country shuts down to listen to it. But those are people of faith, people of spiritual experience. Etare vatikashtannas tareka pranajivinam vinanam praninam yadvan minanam chavinajalam. This would surely cause us great distress, for we have dedicated our life and breath only to him. If we would suffer like embodied creatures without food, or like fish deprived of water. Commentary. The Pandavas do not resent having been subjected to so many troubles, but they feel responsible for diminishing the faith of other devotees, and this makes them sad. Only the force of Krishna's affection keeps the Pandavas alive. Ator hitam maya yagya sampadana misharina idam nishtam dashaya bhaktanam abhaktanam api prabho. Therefore, on the pretext of arranging a sacrifice, I begged him, dear master, please show how the fortune of the devotees and the non-devotees differ. So he wanted, Yudhishthira in other words, wanted Krishna to make this point clear, that a non-devotee seeking after mundane pleasure, when misfortune comes, that is a very dark thing for him. But when the devotees suffer so-called misfortune, they remember the Lord more deeply, and it is a source of joy, increased joy. So Yudhishthira therefore said to Krishna, you tell what is the difference between the misfortune of a devotee and the misfortune of a non-devotee. He wanted the Lord himself to describe this. And this is out of compassion for those who would lose their faith to see, oh, the Pandavas were banished to the forest and they're this and that. But we love hearing those stories. They're so wonderful. Commentary. Yudhishthira did not undertake the demanding Rajasuya Yajna for the power and fame it would earn him. He and his brothers were untouched by such material motives. He wanted only to help the world better understand the glories of Krishna and his devotees. Tadeva deva bhavatas charanaravinda sevanubhava mihapasyatu loka esha jetvam bhajanti na bhajantyutta vobhayesam nishtam padarasaya vidho kuru srinjayanam. Therefore, O Lord of Lords, let the people of this world see the power of devotional service rendered unto your lotus feet. Please show them, O Almighty One, the position of those Kurus and Srinjayas who worship you, and the position of those who do not. Do you follow what he just said? Let the people understand that the experiences of those who are devoted to you under the same circumstances of misfortune differ from those who do not worship you. Show this, please, my Lord. And this is out of compassion. See how compassionate Yudhisthira is. That no one will misunderstood that their misfortunes were painful to them. They were not. They were the source of increased meditation and love for the Lord. And this is our practicing life. What are we practicing? Ananya, what is our central practice?
Learning to know God, right?
Yes, and how are we responding to the environment?
Not very well.
Well,
I mean, generally, in my life, I have
right.
not. I'm trying to,
Yeah.
be more aware now.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we all are.
I mean, that's
right?
everything, right? How we respond to our environment, how we navigate.
It is through, but our practice is to navigate through surrender, knowing that the Lord is arranging these things. The Lord has brought me to this front, to the front of me, and nothing. Well, that wasn't fair, and that, I mean, I do it all day too.
Mhm.
But that wasn't fair, and that was not good, and that shouldn't be. But the real truth is, you want me to see this, experience this, and I surrender to you. And therefore we can come in touch with His will, which is sweet and which will purify our vision of everything. That is a central principle. And Yudhisthira is saying, please tell them, the world, the difference between those who are surrendered to you and feeling the sweetness of every event coming from you and those who are not. It's very sweet, huh? Super sweet.
So, it's... Sorry for interrupting you.
No.
But I think it's very... It becomes very beautiful to observe the real problem, which is very simple.
Super
The
simple.
problem is that we're not okay with His will. And that's it.
That's it. I told Sudarshan the other day, I have a fundamental problem with reality. I was just like, no. And then I take in all these excuses, like, well, that's not fair, or that's rude, or that's something, or that's that. But actually, when I can remember, no, Lord, you have put this in front of me. What is my seva? I can see things in a very, very different way. Very different. And always more gentle. Even if we have to go against something on the surface, like, for example, locking the door, it seems to be going again. That is also part of His will. Yeah, I want you to do that. I mean, where was Bhagavad Gita spoken? On a battlefield. But it was all gentle. Actually, Arjuna has no ungentleness in his nature. Gentleness is not weakness. Gentleness is compassion. It's a deeply powerful quality. But what was to be done was according to the Lord's will, because He was overwhelmed with compassion. He didn't even want to fight the battle. But it was because the Lord wanted it that He did it, and He really did it. He didn't go, okay, well, I guess I'll try. He's like, all right, I'm there, I'm doing this properly, So we don't know, I guess. No, so whatever our duty is, we will try to do it in the mood of surrender and do it well. That is what we're for. We're not for doing something halfway. We're a soul. Whatever we're doing, we do it well for the Lord in the mood of surrender. Is that kind of clear?
Yes.
It's wonderful, huh?
Kind of.
Super, super. One problem solved in a million problems solved in one way.
Beauty. Beautiful.
It's so beautiful. And that's why the scriptures say that person is Krishna. If you know him, you know everything. If you have him, you have everything. You have attained to everything. Every problem is solved simply by surrender to him. He is truth. And he is home.
Jaya.
All right, the next verse. Text 50 and 51. Lokayanto yato loka sarve tvad bhakta sampadaha ahikam musmikis chitra shuddha sarva vilakshanaha bhutva parama vishvasta bhajantas tvad padambujam nirdukha nirbhaya nityam Sukitvam janti sarvataha. By this sacrifice, all people will see the wonderful assets that belong to your devotees in this life and in the next. Opulence, so he's referring, but this is Yudhishthira speaking. He is referring to the Rajasuya sacrifice. At the conclusion, I'm just going to give you a little background here, because in the previous verse, it was referring to the Rajasuya sacrifice, right? Therefore, on the pretext of arranging a sacrifice, I begged him, "Dear Master, please show how the fortunes of the devotees and the non-devotees differ." On the pretext of arranging the Rajasuya sacrifice. Okay, does anybody here know about what a Rajasuya sacrifice is?
No. Oh, is that the one that's super complicated?
Oh, it's like,
And we can't even envision it? It's like so high, we can't even envision the
we can't even
process.
think about
You
it.
mentioned that recently.
Yeah. It's yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I remember.
fantastic. So the Rajasuya sacrifice, I mean, there's a description of, some of it, because anyway, of course, in the Mahabharata. But for example, every single king that was invited, they built an inconceivable palace for him for the sacrifice. And the demigods were attending. And the amount of wealth that was distributed is, well, we just don't have that kind of wealth in the whole world. Now, it's not possible to understand. And the mantras were spoken by such qualified Brahmins. There was no mistake, even in the tiniest inflection of a syllable. It's just so difficult to understand this. So Krishna wanted Yudhishthira to do the sacrifice, to show the world what is the position of Yudhishthira Maharaj. He was so supreme. Why? Because of his devotion to the Lord. So he was perfect. And everyone on any level should be under him. He wanted the Yudhishthira to be the emperor of all the other kings. And he was. He became Emperor Yudhishthira. But not through force, but through a sacrifice and showing his exalted position because of his pure devotion for the Lord. So this is a very important thing. Lokayanto yato. Oh, did I already read this? Okay. By this sacrifice, all people will see the wonderful assets that belong to your devotees in this life and the next. Opulences, all pure and utterly distinct from material assets. Then, gaining absolute trust in you, people will worship your lotus feet and become ever free from misery and fear and achieve happiness in all respects. So those who have very thin faith will be reassured. Oh, in the end, the Pandavas became so opulent. But those who have sweeter and deeper faith, they will see that those opulences have no mundane quality. They're not selfish. They don't care. The Pandavas don't care if they have opulences or not. Therefore, those opulences are divine. They're simply the environment of their service. But when they were living in the jungle with no house, they were just as happy. But still, that will reassure the world of conditioned souls that the Lord is so opulent and can give all those opulences to his devotees. But we don't want to be that way. I mean, we may be that way. We may be excited when some good material situation comes. But that is not our goal. We have a higher ideal than that. And we want to see those things, as well as being deprived of things, both as equal. Because they both contain the sweetness of the will of Krishna. We have to live in that plane. Purport. People tend to be strongly influenced by the example of their leaders. The Pandavas fulfilled their sovereign responsibilities perfectly. By the devotion and precise care in which they carried out the Rajasuya sacrifice, by the perfect justice of their administration in this life, and by the exalted position among the demigods they were sure to attain in the next, the Pandavas inspired the innocent people to follow the path of devotional service to Krishna. That's why they did it. Not to show their power, strength, and opulence. They only did it to bring their subjects into faith in the Lord. And that's why we try to make our temples so lovely. A beautiful place to come to worship Krishna. Everyone could see the ordinary wealth and power of the Pandavas was untainted by material faults. There was no ego being displayed there. None at all. It was all heart-melting, teary-eyed love for the Lord. That's why they did everything. Because that wealth and power was intended only for the service of Krishna. And service is not an external thing. Service is an internal thing. It's a mood. So always when we're checking, when we're doing our service, oh, am I even remembering the Lord? Am I remembering that he has given this service? He's brought this service to my front to receive something from my heart. The whole material world belongs to him. He doesn't need anything from us. But he is seeking. He's seeking us, and we are the soul. So this is a deeper thing. As Srila Saraswati Thakur was saying, and we are reading in Upadeshamrita, it is not enough just to do the right things. We have to come into the internal mood of service. Is that clear?
Yes.
Jai, Shri Upadeshamrita. Huh?
So we have to be very kind of aware
Yeah.
constantly, otherwise Maya will just take us away.
Yeah, and also he doesn't need our body movements.
Right, it's internal.
It must
Right.
be. Guru Maharaj said the surrender begins at the beginning of the service. The offering begins when we begin to cook.
Or when we get up to take the shower. Like,
Yes.
That's when it actually begins.
We're
right?
preparing.
We're getting
this, and it must be conscious of the Lord. Not that blah, 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 and then we just
It's
throw
not
it in front of him, say a
right.
few prayers and run away.
Because all of these things are given to us so that we can help remember.
Yes, and
Help us to
yes.
make this holy.
He is providing the kitchen. He is providing everything. And why? Why has he put this in front of me? What is my Savior, my Lord? To you, with who I am, which is the soul. Oh. Jai, Srila Sanatana Goswami ki Jai. Haribol. Are you going to say something, Ananya?
What?
Oh, okay.
No, I'm making paneer.
Oh, okay. No, I thought that you were beginning to say something.
No, I was hearing every single thing you had to say. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, it's a snowy morning in Salt Lake City. Snow is pouring down. But who is bringing this to my consciousness? Who is bringing this to my consciousness? Yes, and why? What is my relationship? Everything has infinite meaning, and he's the only one who knows that. So we are trying to find him. Can I have the kartals, Prabhu? Sorry, I keep forgetting to get them at the beginning of the class. Haribol. Let's hear a rousing kirtan from the kitchen. Yeah, we want, I'm gonna, you just wanna, you be a part of the Hari Haraya? Can that be? Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yaraya Nama. Lila. Jai Sapadika Shri Guru Gora Chandra Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pai Paramhansa Paribrajaka Acharya Astutera Sati Shri Shiman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pai Paramhansa Paribrajaka Acharya Astutera Sati Shri Shiman Srila Bhakti Bhagavad Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila
Haridas
Thakur Ki Jai. Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad. What does Saparshad mean?
Associates.
Say it louder.
Associates.
Sa means with.
Sa.
Means with his parshad, with his associates. So we're worshiping the Lord, but always with his devotees. So Saparshad Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath. What does that mean?
The gopis.
Gopa means the cowherd men or boys. And Gopi means?
The cowherd girls.
Yes, Nath. Nath means Lord, the Lord of the Braja Gopis and Gopas. Gopa Gopinath, Shyama Kunda, Radha Kunda, Giri. Giri means mountain. Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Ma Ki Jai. Tadi Saka Ma Ki Jai. I always think I'm saying that wrong. I have to, and I keep forgetting to find out if I'm saying it wrong. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai. Kol Kartal Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala. All the Vaishnava temples Ki Jai. All the Vaishnava existence Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda. All the devotees Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Haribol. And Ekadasi Date Ki Jai. Ekadasi Devi Ki Jai. Haribol Jai.
Jai Srimati Shri
Jai Gurudev Ki Jai. Haribol.
With us is Krishna Prabhu saying,
Very happy to have you with us.
thank you very much for today's class. Haribol.
Haribol. Jai. Looking at this